What's up, everybody? I'm back, and today I was thinking about talking about the main reason why I support the Passport Bro movement. So, without further ado, let's get down to business. So, I live in the US. I'm an immigrant. I immigrated here 5 years ago, recently became a US citizen. I love all there is about the US. I've traveled to a bunch of states. I love exploring this beautiful country. It has so much amazing, mind blowingly beautiful scenery there is out there to see. It's just beautiful. And despite all of my love towards the US, I am very saddened to admit that the only thing that truly sucks ass in the US is the dating scene. Dating is 100% dog shit in the US. It really doesn't matter like what type of guy you are. This tall, this rich, this poor. It's all the same shit in my opinion. Of course you're going to have the upper hand if you're taller, if you have more money, but at the end of the day, there's really no value. I think most of us guys who are like average, let's talk about average guys, for example. Like we go to our 9 to 5s, we come home, we pay our bills, we travel every now and then, we buy all the necessary items, we're genuinely happy. We can't afford all the nicest toys, but we get by. We're happy for the most time, right? For the most part. However, the competition is fierce. You cannot compete with any men who have more than you to offer. If you're like a 5'10" tall like guy, you cannot compete with the guy who's 6'5". He's always gonna have the upper hand. So that's the difference. However, when I say there's not much of a difference, this is what I mean. You see, in the US, Western women are nothing like women from the rest of the world. And when I say the rest of the world, I don't mean Europe, I don't mean Canada, I don't mean Australia, I mean Central America, South America, Africa, Sub Saharan Africa, and of course, Southeast Asia. Those are completely different parts of the world that are nothing like the Western world. And when I say the Western world, I mean the US, Western Europe, Canada. Even though it's not in the West, well, Australia has a lot of similarities, but I wouldn't talk too much about Australia because I don't yet have much experience with Australia when it comes to travel and the people over there. I've met a lot of Australians here in California. However, I think I should still need to visit the country and then come to a more educated conclusions about Australia as a dating market, because here in the US everything is toast. I think even if you're like what the red pillars call a high value guy, high value male, I think you still don't have much to gain from being in a relationship in the Western country like the US. I feel like the women here always have unlimited options. They can go for any guy, not just here. Like they can be flown to different countries, Japan, Dubai, you name it. Doesn't matter. Like women always have options. They can even be average-looking women. They're still gonna have suitors. It's just how it is. And here, even when you have so much to offer, somebody always has more. And there's really no guarantee that when it comes to modern Western woman from the U.S. specifically, that she's going to be loyal to you. Women, especially in states like California, New York, Illinois, like cities like Chicago, LA, New York, these women are always hungry for validation. They want to see all the likes, all the comments on their Instagram pages, and all that validation is making them narcissistic, making them feel like they're superior, they're goddesses, they're these monuments of beauty, you know. So basically, why should they settle for you? Why should they settle for just one guy? Doesn't matter even if you're the guy with the millions of fucking dollars. Who gives a shit? There's another million. There's a billionaire out there. Hell, I've met billionaires here. It's just it's actually not that weird to meet very rich people in states like California, New York. They're everywhere. Like the U.S. is a country that has the most millionaires and billionaires. I mean, you just cannot even debate that. It's a fact. So basically, And here, as an average Joe, you have to make at least a few thousand swipes to the right in order to get one potential date, or let's say five. Four of those are going to stood you up, so you're going to be stuck with one, and that one's probably going to be catastrophic. Most likely, you're not even going to kiss the girl, let alone see her again, or be intimate later afterwards. No, not going to happen. So this is what brings me up to the topic of going abroad, finding your true love, or if you're that desperate, just go for a hookup. Because from my experience, I wasn't even that crazy about traveling, but a good buddy of mine spends a lot of time in Africa, Asia, and he asked me to come, spend some time to see how it is, and I was like, why the fuck not? So I hop on a plane, I go to Africa. It was insane. Like, I mean, I'm not talking about cultural shock. I'm not amazed by going to another country. I mean, I've done it too many times. I really don't care anymore. But the thing is, when it comes to women, there's something else. What a woman is here in the West, that's what you are as a guy over there in countries of sub-Saharan Africa. Women over there like you only because you're white. So, yeah, that's insane, but it's factual. It's the truth. You go to Africa, they don't give a shit how much money you make. They don't give a shit how tall you are. They don't give a fuck if you're missing a leg. They want to be with you. They want to experience you. Because we specifically went to Kenya, and in Kenya, you do not have white people. You don't even have that many tourists, which I actually like. Because I try to stay away from countries like France, Thailand, that are packed with foreign fucking tourists. So I prefer to go to countries like Kenya, Vietnam. Those are places. I'm about to go to Panama for the first time. I'm very excited about that. Because those are not like super hyped up destinations for anybody to go to. It's kind of secluded, and I like that. That's amazing. So when you go to Kenya, you can basically approach any girl, start a conversation. You could, on the spot, take her back home, and you can be intimate. 100%. You do not have to take her to expensive dinners. You don't have to buy her gifts. I mean, you should do it anyway because it's not going to cost you a lot of money over there. And even if you buy them like a small thing like a chocolate or a small article of clothing, they're going to be respectful. They're going to appreciate you for it. And you're actually going to feel how much these women appreciate what you do for them. Even though it may not seem much to you because, I mean, you come from the Western world, you know what women are like here, how much they demand. It's a completely different standard. I mean, these women are going to say that you're handsome even if you're missing hair, if you have a shitty hairline, if you're 5'5", if you're a little bit chubby. Doesn't matter. Like, you're white, they want to be with you. They like you for that alone. It's crazy. I was like, wow, are they really that superficial? Like, is that all that matters, my fucking race? But, I mean, it's more like curiosity. I get that. I mean, a lot of white guys want to go to Asia, be with an Asian chick, Africa, be with the black chick. That's different than African Americans or, Asian Americans, African Americans, white Americans. They all have the same fucking mentality, men or women, basically. I mean, sure, there's some differences when it comes to Asian and African American culture, but, I mean, we all have the same fucking mindset of making money, hustling, all this shit, right? But in Africa, something else. In Southeast Asia, it's not as simple, but it's still way easier. Especially if you go to the Philippines or Thailand, it's way easier to meet women, become intimate with them, get into a relationship, In the U.S., it's all just a fuck fest of being catfished, stood up. You waste your time, energy, and money, and you literally get nothing in return. Literally nothing. So, my advice to any guy out there who's an American or a Western guy, you have a powerful passport. I'm sure you can afford a fucking plane ticket. Hop on a plane, go to these third world countries, whatever the fuck. You'll be with a woman. Doesn't matter, even if you're like a guy who's never been with a woman before, just go for it. Don't be afraid. It is very, very simple. And you will not regret it. Have an experience of a lifetime. Those places also have some beautiful beaches. It's cheaper than the US, cheaper than Canada, cheaper than the Western Europe. Just don't be afraid. They don't bite. Women are very modest. They're actually very feminine. There's a stigma. Modern Western women, they think that, oh, we go there to be with uneducated women. Well, no. Some of those women are actually, I mean, they know their shit. Some of them even speak multiple languages. I mean, they know a lot about Asia. They know some things about Europe that they're curious to learn. They tend to listen to you when you speak to them. They don't think you're mansplaining or any of that bullshit. They don't think that, oh my God, you're a creep. No, they treat all men with respect. From all of my experience, I've never had a bad experience in any of these countries that I visited with women. I mean, to be fair, I never really had a bad experience with American women here that's like super fucking terrible. I was never called the creep here. I was never insulted by women in the West. However, the problem is they just do not want to commit. You know, they just give you a fake phone number 99% of the time when you ask them out. Women complain, men don't approach us. That's not true. We do. I approached women a few times. I've stopped dating here, but I used to do it a few years ago. I would, introduce myself. Nothing, fancy. Just start a conversation, see where it leads. Then I ask for a phone number. Then she gives me either her real phone number. Then I send her a text, and she either replies once and never again, or she just gives me a fake phone number, which I think is rude. Like, they should just say, "I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend," or whatever, and everything ends there. When you go to countries like Africa or Southeast Asia, those girls are going to chase you. You won't be able to shake them off. Like, my friend made a profile over there, and he got 100 likes from women. Like what I've said, what Western women are in the U.S., you as a white guy, and I do mean specifically white guy. I'm sorry to admit this, but it's way easier for a white guy to score chicks in Africa, Southeast Asia, and Central America. Sadly, that is the case, so there is a little bit of a downside if you're black. If you go to these countries, it's not going to be as easy. So it's definitely easier if you're white. I'm really sorry, but that is just the case. But I do think black people can get together with African women in Africa. I don't think that's a problem, but like Asia and Europe is the most difficult one for a black person to go and meet women. European women, like, don't usually tend to mix with other races, and they usually tend to be with boyfriends of their own nationality, religion, stuff like that. But Asian women are a little bit different. They're kind of more open, but Asian women are more patriarchal, especially when it comes to women from China and Vietnam. They really don't really want to get serious with you unless you show that you want to marry them, which is kind of a next step. But some men really go not for the sake of hookups. They really go to meet the love of their lives, and they actually use the, a travel filter to actually get into a conversation here before they even leave for the said country, and meet women and start a conversation. They say, "I'll be there in a week. Let's get together." So you can do that. That's actually what I'd recommend. And those women will be there. They'll meet up with you. They'll spend time with you. They'll be very grateful. You know, it's just amazing. It feels like those are women from 50 years ago here in the West, like how women used to be. But from my personal experience and many other men, as I've heard and seen, I just don't think there's much benefit to dating Western women anymore in 2025 here in the US. Even if you're filthy rich, even if you're like a high status male, those women just want to be with you because of, your status and money. But there's no guarantee those women will be faithful to you. They can just abandon you at any moment. They can go for the other rich dude. And there's a fuck ton of them here in America. But that doesn't really matter much in other countries. Like, it's way easier for a white guy to marry an Asian girl in China than here in the US. Like, it's really difficult here just to get a decent girlfriend, a decent partner, to have something that really holds water. I feel like here in the West, it's all about the fucking hookups. And it's normalized cheating. It's bullshit. Who the fuck wants to have a girlfriend who sleeps around with other guys, talks to other guys, has OF accounts, all this bullshit? Like, us guys, we don't have that option. Our options are always fucking limited. And even when we're like super fucking made, like even when we're super rich, super handsome, women who chase after us, we all know why they do it. I mean, they don't even give a fuck about us that much. You know, they give more fucks about the money that we spend on them. Oh, are you gonna buy me that Gucci bag? Fuck no. Why would I? Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't. But when you go to these other countries, women are not like that. When you just take them to a restaurant, local restaurant, they're grateful. They show appreciation. They're like, "Thank you so much for buying this for me. This is very nice of you. This is very sweet." And they actually call you. You don't even have to call them. They call you the next day. They want to see you again. And then you go again on another adventure. You can go sailing with them. You can go swimming. They even want to play pool with you. They want to do everything. It's amazing. And it's just, it really opened my eyes. A lot of people travel for the sake of, oh, I've traveled. I want to show that I've been here, been there. I mean, when I do it, it's about reconnecting with my friends who live on the other end of the globe and, meeting women. And it's just a much more rewarding experience. So if you really want to meet somebody and have a meaningful relationship, and I'm not talking about just hookups or casual sex. Of course, you can do that. But if you want to have something meaningful and you're willing to leave your country, your Western country for a while, definitely go to Central America, South America, definitely go to Sub-Saharan Africa, not North Africa. I would go to Sub-Saharan Africa or Southeast Asia. And your odds are going to improve drastically. Regardless of your status, your height, your looks, your age, doesn't fucking matter. I mean, and I'm the type of guy who doesn't even give a fuck about traveling that much. I've been to enough countries, I don't give a shit. I travel for work, I travel to meet up with my friends, and now recently because of women. Because I'm hoping to meet the real one somewhere out there. I mean, the soulmate, that's what I mean when I say the real one. Because, of course, you can go and just have casual hookups, but you want to have the real deal. You want to have that real wife, not just some girl you sleep with and then she leaves you for another guy, or it's just not meaningful. I feel like you can't find that fucking meaning anymore in the West. It's just gone. It's really fucking weird. I was just driving these two, boyfriend and girlfriend tonight, and they were fucking arguing. I mean, girlfriend was kind of obnoxious over a fucking pizza delivery. She was insulting her boyfriend. He was kind of actually cool about it. He wasn't that upset. And he actually apologized to me. She didn't give a fuck about apologizing, even though I was giving them a ride as an Uber driver. She was really going at it over a fucking pizza delivery. All because of the fact he wanted to go pick up the pizza and not have it delivered to their house. And she didn't even have to go with him. He would go pick it up alone. She's like, why didn't you order it to come to our house? I mean, dude, none of those girls are going to give you that headache. From my experience, none of the girls, like the girls I've been with, no issue. Everything was smooth. It was incredible. I mean, every guy should at least once in his life go to one of these countries, meet one of these women, spend some time with one of these women. Don't date multiple women. Find one, stick to her, see how it goes, build a relationship. Don't be a dickhead. Don't date multiple women. Don't do what women in the West do here. A lot of them do that. They think it's normalized here. Oh, you can go on a date with 10 different guys. That's stupid. That's bullshit. But that's how it goes when you have so many fucking unlimited options. You end up in this fucking state of choice paralysis. And then you're fucked. You don't know what you want. You just want to try everything. It's like you have this, table full of all these amazing, foods, and you don't know what you want. So you just eat everything. You become so fucking greedy and obnoxious to a point where you have to taste everything. And everything's like half eaten. You didn't really enjoy it. You just have to say that you've tried it. It's fucking lame. It's kind of like a similar concept. I remember one time I didn't have working internet, so I couldn't play any video games off of my Steam. So I played a video game off a CD that I installed. And I've fully committed to this one game because that one game was the only option available. And I really fucking enjoyed every second of like 100%ing that game because all of these other games weren't distraction because Steam wasn't available. And now because of all these bitch ass social medias, you know, in the West, women have so many fucking options and they don't want to commit to shit. It's very fucking rare in the West to find a woman that wants to commit to you and say, I'm done with social media. I don't want to text any other guy. I don't give a fuck about this guy in my DMs. I want it. You're the only guy. You know, for us guys, it's a little different because we always have limited options. Unless you're like some type of celebrity, so every girl, but we all know it's bullshit. Those women who chase you, like they chase Chris Brown. Why the fuck would you want to be with Chris Brown? He's a piece of shit. I mean, he's an ass. He used to kick the shit out of Rihanna. But women don't give a fuck. Even though he's toxic, they would want to be with him. Because he's fucking Chris Brown. And in the West, we have this cult of celebrities, all this bullshit. It's all about the status. They talk shit about these red pillars, how much they hate them. Oh, they're misogynistic. They're all this. And yet they still want to be with them. They're still going to sleep with those misogynists. That's how Western women operate these days. It's just crazy. I mean, nice guys, no wonder they finish last. You can be the nicest guy on earth. You're not getting it, man. You're not getting a girlfriend. You're not getting respect. You're not going to have a family at the end of the day. You're just going to be alone and you're going to say, fuck dating. I'm out of here. Get your fucking passports, my guys. Get the fuck out of the West for a while. I'm not telling you to live in these countries. I could never live in one of those countries. I would always want to live in America. I still live in America, and I hope I will live in America for the rest of my life. However, from time to time, it's really, really fucking good to go to these countries. Meet one woman. Don't date multiple. I'm saying meet one woman. Give her a time of day. Start developing a good relationship. These women will commit to you. They will. You should definitely try it. I recommend it 100%. My guys, you will not regret it. It's going to be an amazing experience. It's going to be something new. You're going to feel like a man reborn. So anyway, I don't want to drag this out. I've already made it too long. That's just my recommendation. My guys, go to one of these countries. I fully support the Passport Bro movement. Anybody can afford a passport. Anybody can save a little bit of money for a plane ticket. Accommodations are not that expensive. What I recommend, go with a bunch of friends, rent one bungalow, share it together. You know, if you can't afford to live in a single apartment or like, you know, individual apartments. So it's a great adventure. Like, my friend really opened my eyes when he invited me. He was like, come. And I was like, I was skeptical at first. I didn't give a fuck, to be honest. But I was like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of lonely. I want to give it a shot. And when I came back, I was a fucking man reborn. And that's what I recommend. So I hope you'll take my advice. This is just my personal experience. I don't want anybody to get offended by this. We all have different experiences. But lately, I haven't seen a lot of men here who are like glorifying dating in the U.S. Everybody I come across, even women, are saying that dating sucks ass here. Well, yeah, but my opinion is women have set the bar way too high here in the West. I think men are way more modest than women when it comes to demands. Us guys, we really don't ask for much when it comes to women. I mean, I honestly think that 85% of women, I'll even say 90, look more than beautiful, look above average. So women never have issue with looks. You know, men do. But here in the West, we have these stupid stigmas, like how much you have to make six figures, you have to have a six-pack, you have to be above 6 feet. It's like the 666, you know, it's kind of like if you're religious. It's like this obsession with sixes in women's minds. Like they have to be all sixes, above sixes to pass. It's just fucking mind-blowing to me. But that's just the reality. World has changed. You know, our grandparents had it way easier than us. I'm talking about us being men in modern society in 2025, living in the West. I don't think it's that rewarding. Even if you're a high status male here in the West, I think you're just being used by young women who basically get a pass because of the way they look, you know. So many sugar daddies here. A lot of young girls in their 20s date a fucking 65-year-old men who are like bankers or some shit. which I find personally disgusting, but that's just the reality of things. Because young men in their 25 or 30s, whatever, they 20 somethings, they're not going to be well established men unless they're like some types of athletes or, influencers who've made it big. But you don't have a lot of men like that. That's like a very, very narrow, short supply of men. And men like that are not just going to go for any girls. Yeah, I'm just talking about my average Joes over there, out there in the world. Like, get out there, get your passport. You won't regret it. And this is coming from the guy who was skeptical about it at first. I've tried it, I've done it, it works. It's up to you guys. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Have a good one. Stay safe out there.